been around for a while, but still deserves to be used. We've also launched a few production companies from here. And you can hear more about that when we all get together and get to talking around the bar, which sadly has no beer, liquor, nothing. But good chat, maybe. Where to start about myself? Well, my girlfriend and I recently decided to not have children. We decided that we didn't want children. So tomorrow we're probably going to tell them. We are aware that there's a birth dearth among white folks, which I've been recently reminded by this one fellow who goes on about it a bit, but he's bright and interesting and doesn't seem to bear any ill will toward folks that are that are unlike himself. But in any case, I noticed him because he was wearing a pin that said, "More big white families, please." And so I inquired, in the Northampton, with all that Northampton politeness, "Excuse me, sir, are you a white supremacist?" Because that's how you start a cordial conversation to learn more. He said, fairly friendly, I said, "No, not at all." He was pro-white, he said. He liked, as he described, he said he liked white folks and thought they were a good influence, and he'd like to see more of them. So that was his presentation. And I informed him that I was opposed to supremacism of any kind, of course, opposed to, whether it's Jewish or black or Asian or white, supremacism of any sort of smacks of being disparaging for some reason of people who are outside of your extended family, so to speak. But, well, not to speak ill of my own racial background, but there is this account that there were these this was this very nice young white couple, British, and blonde, as things tend to go in jokes of this kind. And they're a very nice young couple, but not too bright. And they already had 4 children, another one on the way. And they were concerned because they had read recently that 1 out of every 5 children born in the world is Chinese. As for this fellow and his what I suppose shouldn't be described as white supremacist, but I think it's important to get across, if for anybody here in the room who is inclined to that kind of thing, I think I'd encourage you more toward achievable goals, maybe baby steps, maybe go more for, say, white reliability. That might be nice. Let's see, white cordialness, white hospitality. These are doable, don't you think? Personally, I'm working on white punctuality. I think I've been making some advances these ways. Show of hands, though, who here, without being anti anybody else, who here, by show of hands, who's pro-white? And don't raise your hands too high; people might get the wrong idea. But okay, that gives us some idea. Anyway, important to like yourself, like your family, and so on, and while not disliking the neighbors, if that's a fair domestic analogy way of putting it. Well, let's see. Encouraged that we're all gathered here in what for me is a very new place. Maybe we can inaugurate it with, I'll propose a toast from some contemporary lyricist poet I hear in more urban areas than I frequent, but let's see. So let's raise a glass if we can. Okay, and to the windows, to the walls, and there we have it. Let's see. I don't want to overstep my time boundaries. I've got a minute or less. I guess I'll just tell you that I'll remind you of a few things. First off, could we all try to bear in mind those two phrases that mean so much in America nowadays. Made in China and press 1 for English. Important to bear those in mind. And then I'll just leave you with what we always say at my church. The 2 things that we always say at my church. 1, trust Jesus. With all others, be careful. 2, we love everybody. And you might be next. Thank you.